What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a phenomenally blessed day. Thank you so much for joining me for another narcissistic series. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, set that notification bell down below so you always know when the next video does go live. And with that being said, today we are going down the rabbit hole in the narcissistic series with the Stockholm Syndrome. This is a real thing, guys, okay? And if you're in psychology, I know everybody says, well, it's not a real thing, it's just a label that they put on things to describe this odd phenomena that happens within people's psyche, because they can't really, I have the hiccups, they're not able to diagnose this, okay? However, I bring this up in the narcissistic series because this is something that happened to myself, and I know that this happens to other people, especially people who are with physical abusers, mental abusers, emotional abusers, abuse of any kind. So the Stockholm Syndrome, allow me to explain a little bit here, is a syndrome when it was originally termed when an abuser or a kidnapper kidnapped somebody, and the kidnapped fell in love with the kidnapper, okay? And the only reason they did is because they found some sense of empathy with this kidnapper, and they, you know, or the predator, I guess is a way to say it. They found empathy towards the predator, and they fell in love and developed feelings for the predator. So why this happens a lot with narcissists is because when a narcissist gets caught in a bad situation, they will make themselves the victim, and they paint this glorious picture of how bad things were as a victim. And that oftentimes is how they get to the people that they are inviting into their lives, or that more or less they're stalking, because they do stalk. They're predators, so they look for prey, and when they get their prey, they've stalked this prey, and they've learned as much about this prey as they can so that they can prey on those weaknesses or those vulnerabilities that have been opened, okay? For myself, it wasn't until the very end that the narcissist that I was with used a situation of sexual abuse from myself, and they brought it back onto themselves, and they're like, oh, well, I could have connected with you this whole time instead of blaming you for it, and yet I didn't, and I feel like I lost you, and now what am I going to do? And now you're going to tell everybody about it. And it's just, the situation doesn't matter. What mattered was that how they took the situation that I had been in and spun it so that they were now the ones, the victim, and how they did all the wrong things and how they did this. Well, here's the deal. When at the very end, and when this happened, I was so tired of the stories, and I was so sick and tired of hearing how they were the victim over and over again, and I was so tired of hearing how it needed to be all about them and how they were the ones that screwed up, when the whole time they always made it seem like it was my fault. Okay, so this is how the Stockholm Syndrome will progress. You will fall in love with them, you'll get really close to them, and then being that you're capable of that thought and listening to your intuition, okay, because sometimes we're too controlled by our emotional ego that we're not actually capable of listening to the internal intuition that we have, and we will find ourselves in a situation where we'll just continue to stay with that person because we'll continue to make excuses for them. So you hear of women who make excuses for a man who broke their ribs and gave them a black eye, broke their nose, bruised up their lip, and they're like, oh, well, you know, this is so out of character for him, even though she was in the hospital last month, right? It's the Stockholm Syndrome, okay? And for when they say, when it happens with narcissists, so what happens is the narcissist will, like, as the empath, or as the one that's with the narcissist, there will be a situation where you might do something and you immediately expect them to scream and yell at you. You know, maybe it's going and seeing family. Maybe it's going and seeing friends. Maybe it's going and doing something that you like to do. And all those situations, as soon as you come back, you get the silent treatment. You get the hours and hours of yelling and screaming and blame. You get the, oh, you cheated on me. You know that's what you were doing. You weren't going and spending time with your sister or your brother. You were going out and cheating on me with all over the world. And how could you? And this, that, and the other. Okay, like all those things. But then once you do it, one time, you'll do it one time and you come back and it doesn't cause any situation at all. And it's in that moment that the Stockholm Syndrome begins to take place, because it's almost as though you were being rewarded for a moment of peace and quiet without them blowing their cork. And so you see them as a kind person in that moment, and it's all a part of the master manipulation. All right. They do this. It's like they pick and choose which ones they're going to yell and scream at you about, because when they pick and choose, then they know they can break you down spiritually and wear you down emotionally and mentally. And when you're worn out, that is when they jump. That's when they take their pot shots, okay? So when you've been with a narcissist for any amount of time, the one thing that you begin to learn is that you're always living on edge and wondering what's the next thing that's going to happen and how is it going to be triggered and why. And as the person who's the prey, you end up putting yourself as the blame, the fault. Oh, well, they only treated me like that because I did this, or they only treated me like that because of this, okay? So I want you guys, that's why I bring this up and I'm explaining it a little bit, because I want you to see that the Stockholm Syndrome is a real thing. Yes, it's not something that can be diagnosed. It really is a phenomena. It's a phenomena that they can't diagnose because it's not something that's definitely gone wrong in the psyche. It's just literally from emotional abuse is what it comes down to, okay? So let's move on. Now that, say that you're trying to get away from this situation, you're trying to get out of this, but you continue to go back. Okay, and that was my problem for a long time. I would continue to go back. And the reason that I would continue to go back is because I did not have any family support. It was always the family making me feel bad for the choices that I made. It was always my family making me feel bad because I was involved with him. It was always my family attacking me because of the situation with him. And it just kind of created more of the need to go back. It was like, well, I'd just rather deal with that than to have a family who doesn't support, you know, the hard times that I'm going through. So if you're in the same situation and you have family that is constantly getting all over you because of the situation that you're in, I want you to know you're not alone. You are not alone, okay? And I know that you want to get out, and I know that you just want freedom and peace in your life, and I understand that. It's time for you to locate a support group, okay? Whether that is psychiatrist, whether that is a therapist, whether that is a battered women's program, just a therapy group that you can attend once a week, whatever it is, you need to become surrounded by people who will help lift you up to help you out. Because when you have a family that will emotionally batter you when you're already emotionally battered in a situation, and oftentimes this happens because you will have chosen the narcissist over your family, and they're not seeing it as a state of survival. They're seeing it as, you chose him or her over me. How could you? We're blood. And it's like you're over here saying, no, you don't understand. I chose them because every time I came to see you guys, it would cause a week, or 2 weeks, a month where my life was miserable. Okay? And they don't understand that. They don't see it that way. They just see it as you betrayed them. And it's not to get mad at them, okay? They're just seeing their side of the coin. And what they're not seeing is that it's the same side of two sides to one coin. They're only seeing one side, and there's something else on the other side, but they can't see that because they're too stuck on how they feel about the situation. So if you have family that doesn't support you, fine. Leave the family alone. Leave the narcissist alone. And please find someone to talk to. Whether that is a friend, whether that is a therapy group. There are groups all over and around you where people have experienced the similar things that you're going through. And sometimes just hearing other people's stories and hearing how they survived and just having someone to talk to that's just like, I know exactly what you're going through, or I've been there too, and it's okay. Just having someone maybe tell you, it's okay. And I feel like if somebody had told me that it's okay, I would have been able to get out a lot sooner. So if you guys need that, I'm telling you now, it's okay. Everything that you feel, it's okay. Even loving this person, it's okay. You're not alone. And no, you're not crazy. And no, there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. You're in a bad situation. And sometimes those situations become so hopeless to us that it's just easier to just give up than it is to keep fighting. And I'm asking you to hold on. Hold on just a little bit longer. Fight for yourself just a little bit longer. Find the strength. Go find a group. Go find someone who can just listen and be the shoulder for you to cry on, because you need that. Because I'm going to tell you, those people who blame you for the situation that happened with the narcissist, they do not see, and nor have they ever experienced what that is like. And it is suffocating. It's overwhelming. It's passionate. It's pleasurable. It's everything that you want, and it's everything you don't want all together. And people may think you're crazy because it's not logical. It's not rational, and it doesn't make sense. But then again, does anything of the heart or anything of emotional, does that make sense? No. Okay? So you may be experiencing Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe it's not diagnosable, but it does exist. And it's a real thing. And they wouldn't have created the name for it if it didn't exist as a phenomena. Because that's what it is. It's a phenomena. You want to talk about angels and demons. Sometimes the narcissists are the demons to our angels. And sometimes those demons can get a hold of our angels and clip their wings, but that doesn't mean that you can't fly again. Okay? I have faith in you, my friend. And I know that you're going to make it through this. And I know that you're going to come out stronger than you could have ever imagined. Fight for yourself just a little bit longer, please. I love you. I'm going to get on out of here. And I don't feel like I need to end this in the way that I normally do, but I'm going to end it on this. I'm saying a prayer for you. May the universe hold you in the divine light. May you feel the love of those who are walking this journey with you. May the guardian angels that have been with you since birth surround you with their loving wings. And may you find the strength that you need to say no more and to set boundaries when it comes to somebody who is like this. And may you say no more when it comes to a family who doesn't believe you. And may you find someone who holds your hand and is the shoulder for you to cry on and is a support system for you, so that you can uproot yourself from this and become the oak tree in strength that you were meant to be, and not surrounded and captivated by weeds in this world. I'm sending you so much love. As it is spoken, so shall it be. Amen. I love you all. Please take care. Bye.